people judge you based on your website. That's the
Yeah.
biggest reason, right? Rightly or
I mean,
wrongly.
you always hear, don't judge a book by its cover, but come on, we're all superficial, man. We're
Yeah.
all judging, you're looking at a company's website and that will either make or break the deal. You are
Yep.
judging them by their cover.
Yep. You can't help it. And especially if, let's say you've gotten a quote and you're going to go look at these different sites. If it's a nicer professional website, you almost feel more okay going with a higher price. Whereas if it was the same quote from a company with a website that looked like it was made 10 years ago and hasn't been updated,
You're right.
you're like, that doesn't seem good, right? So it gives a greater sense of confidence in the customer who's going to be buying from you. It increases your perceived value and professionalism, rightly or wrongly, but that's what it is. I mean, so many people have been working their companies for years. They do a great job. They are
Right.
reliable. And so you want that to be reflected on your website so that people don't pass you by or think that you're some fly-by-night organization that's going to
Right.
stop showing up or disappear with your money. Like, you want to know that they're here to stay, they're professional, they're committed to this, right? And so if that investment is there on their website, you assume they're going to give the same level of quality to the work that they're doing for you.
Fake it till you make it. A great website can make a 5-person organization, a 2-person organization look like they're a Fortune 50 company.
It's true.
And so, one of the things in the notes that I have from you is you have a goal, okay? And when I read this, I kind of laughed, okay? I'm like, this is an awesome, awesome goal. Do you want to, why don't you talk to us about, one, what the goal is, okay? And then 2, what you're doing to change that.
Sure. Yeah. So my goal is to help rid the world of terrible websites, because there's so many terrible websites out there, and this is a fixable problem. Most of the things that make a website terrible are like too many pop-ups, autoplay videos with sound, even when they're in the background somewhere, and
Right.
you're like, which tab is playing music? Or
I hate, like, a lot of news sites that'll just have automatically some random ad or video play when you load up a news article. Like, I have to actually permanently mute the sites in Chrome because otherwise it's going to be playing audio, and then you can't even find which video is the one that actually has it because they already have like 10 videos on the site. It drives me insane.
Yeah. And even like if I'm looking up a recipe to cook something, so many of these recipe sites, I try to do it on my phone and then it just loads some other ad, pushes everything down. I can't even find the recipe half the time. It's really obnoxious.
Yeah.
So that's why Google has started actually incorporating content layout shift as a ranking metric. So if things on the page shift as it's loading like that, you get dinged. So you want it to load fast and kind of all at once, and then fill in any missing pieces, like an image or something. There should be a space for the image, even if the image isn't loaded yet. That way things don't jump. Because one of the worst things is you get your mouse over to click on a button, the page shifts and you click on the wrong link and you're like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That drives me nuts, especially when you're on one of those I guess you could say a spammy site where it's like, oh, look at this weird story. And then you have to click through for the slideshow. But every time you're trying to click next, then it shifts on you and you're clicking on their dang ads.
Yes.
But the other annoying thing that I have, and I think this is a terrible website design, is okay, I'm okay with giving a site permission for my location so that they can kind of understand where people are looking from their website. I'm not too freaked out about that. What I do find annoying, though, is then the repetitive pop-ups asking me if I want to receive alerts from the website. That is so annoying. If I want alerts from your website, guess what? I'm going to be downloading your app and turning alerts on. Otherwise, I don't even want to be offered that.
Well, and especially once you've dismissed it, you should not be offered it again. So anytime you are using pop-ups on your website, number one, use them sparingly. Don't show them right away, and honor the dismissal. So if a person says, I don't want to see this, don't show it to them on every page. Wait at least a week before you ask them again.
I'd say 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, but and the other thing is with pop-ups, if you're going to use them, make sure you're offering something of value to the visitor. It's not just something that you want. What's something that they would want? For example, instead of just saying join our newsletter to stay up to date, who cares, right? But if you're
Mhm.
saying, enter your email to download this free report on the top 10 most annoying things on a website, and we'll give you 10% off your first order. Whatever it is, that give them a reason to put in their email address, then they don't feel as annoyed because you're actually giving them something.